This is purely for fun, and I hope it brings you entertainment. So here we go. The security guard, dressed in a white linen suit, despite the freezing night, nodded favourably as affluent guests glided through the door of the London townhouse. Anna Rose stood shivering on the footpath, feeling the strap of her yellow bikini top rising up her back. Why on earth had she agreed to go to the party, and where was Tilly? Just as she was about to send another text, a taxi pulled up to the curb and Tilly emerged from the back seat, sporting a high ponytail of chestnut hair and an apologetic smile. "Sorry I'm late," said Tilly. "Getting dressed was a complete nightmare. But what do you think?" Anna turned to the security guard, whose dark glasses made it impossible to tell whether his eyeballs had dilated as Tilly slipped off her coat to reveal a gold boob tube skimming her slim, tanned waist and generous cleavage. "Wow," said Anna, "you look incredible." "Come on then," said Tilly, "let's get busy with the fizzy. The invitation promises exotic cocktails." Bounding up the steps, Tilly and Anna passed the security guard and stepped into the hallway, where their heels promptly sank into a thick carpet of sand. Anna had been to theme parties before, but this one was on a whole different scale. There was an incredibly lifelike soundtrack of waves tumbling onto a beach, with a background of dance music and massive tropical flower arrangements that had been placed on every possible surface. As for the waiters, they appeared to be wearing nothing but tight black shorts and Liberty print bow ties. Appearing from behind a rail of decadent coats, a cloakroom attendant dressed in a grass skirt attempted to remove Anna's puffer jacket from her shoulders. Following a mini tug of war, Anna finally gave in, and as her outfit was no longer hidden, she tried not to look down at her yellow bikini top and red velvet hot pants. "Oh my God, well look at you," said Tilly, scooping up a couple of mojitos from a waiter and passing one to Anna. "You look delectable." And guess what? Not even a minute through the door and I've spotted Jamie Lord, you know, the dishy barrister, and he's even more gorgeous in the flesh. Taking a large sip from her drink and nearly choking on a mint leaf, Anna looked around to see if there was any sign of their hostess. "Oh, come with me," said Tilly. "I want to introduce myself to the delicious Jamie," draining the remainder of her mojito. Anna followed Tilly through an array of beautiful model-like creatures sporting tans and oversized watches. "Any coconuts up there?" said Tilly, peering up the trunk of a potted palm tree and smiling at Jamie, who was blonde and handsome. "Not as yet," he said, "though anything seems possible around here. I'm Jamie, by the way." "Oh, I know," said Tilly, swaying to the music. "And this is Anna, my long-time flatmate." "Hi there," said Anna. "It's all very glamorous, isn't it?" "I don't know about that," said Jamie, holding a beach ball in one hand and an empty glass in the other. "It's really just a great big posing session, isn't it? And it's so hot in here, there's a strong chance we'll all perish from a heat stroke." Well, the arrival of a waitress carrying fresh drinks distracted them momentarily, and Tilly soon had Jamie sidelined into close conversation. Turning around, Anna's eyes were drawn to the unmistakable face of Sofia Tamper, who surveyed her guests from halfway up the stairs with her trademark smoky eyes beneath a thick black fringe. As the daughter of one of Hollywood's richest producers, Sofia had become a 25-year-old it girl and insatiable party animal, continually sending gossip feeds into a spin. Next to Sofia stood a beautiful girl wearing a luminous yellow dress, complementing her rich brown skin. They could have graced the cover of Vogue there and then. "Do you know Sofia well?" said Tilly, as she gazed at Jamie. "Oh, not really. We've met at a few art exhibitions, which my friend George curates, actually. I'm hoping he'll pop in later." He looked straight at Tilly. "Because you know what? This is already a memorable party. Uh-oh, he said. Look sharp, people, because our hostess is heading our way. Anna watched Sofia saunter towards them like a leopardess in a deer enclosure. Hey, Jamie, said Sofia in her Anglo Los Angeles accent, air kissing either side of his cheek. Great party, said Jamie. And you know Tilly and Anna? Sofia raised her eyebrows. We met at a charity ball at the Savoy last year, said Tilly. Oh, okay. I go to so many events, you know, it's hard to keep track, said Sofia lazily. And you are? I'm Anna. I've come in place of my... Sorry, Hannah? What? In place of what? No, it's Anna. Actually, my name is Anna, she said, disliking Sofia more every second. Oh, whatever, said Sofia. I got a dash. But you go get yourself another drink. You all look like you need to loosen up a little, yeah? Sofia walked away, and Jamie got it bang on. Christ, she's a shot tonight, isn't she? Said Jamie. Only tonight, said Anna. Look, who's on for another cocktail, said Tilly. Or better still, how about a dance, said Jamie, taking Tilly's hand as if it were the most natural thing in the world. That's not if we're not totally abandoning you, Anna. Oh, not at all, she said, fiddling with the back of her bikini. I'll go to the bar, I'll have one more drink, and then I'm going to make a run for it. Oblivious to the admiring stares and in no mood for meaningless chit-chat, George Wyndham scanned the crowd in search of Jamie. Deciding to stay for a quick drink, to at least fend off this freezing cold on his way home, George walked onto the terrace and noticed a girl with long, curly blonde hair looking out over the garden terrace. Admiring her shorts, George was about to walk towards the bar when the girl suddenly yelped and crouched down on her knees. Oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening, he heard her say. You okay? Said George, walking towards her and trying to work out what the problem was. Oh my God, no, I mean, bugger, oh no, don't worry, said the girl, crouching on the floor. I'm sure I can manage. Are you sure? Said George. I mean, anything I can do to help? Turning her head, Anna almost froze when she saw George's face, instantly recognizing him from a feature in Harper's Bazaar from the previous month. She knew without any doubt that she had turned bright red. What were her options? Okay, please, can you pass me my bag? It's just over there on the table. Oh, this one? George picked up Anna's bag from the nearby table. Yes, thanks, she said. Avoiding eye contact, Anna kept one hand over her naked breasts while the other hand pulled out a gold and white silk kaftan, swiftly slipping it over her head. George stepped back as if he was trying not to encroach on her space. Anna had never felt such relief as she stood up and smoothed out the fabric. Oh, thank you, she said, smiling at George and putting out her hand. He shook it. I'm George, he said, before signalling to the stubbly barman that he'd like to order drinks. He was beautifully tall, with a Greek nose, softened by dark brown hair spilling over slate grey eyes. What can I get you, he said. A glass of wine? A cocktail? Something stronger? Oh, glass of white wine, please, she said. My father always says, when in doubt, favour the grape. He swears by red wine for warming up on freezing cold nights at home in Ireland. Better than whiskey, he says. So you're Irish, said George, having ordered 2 glasses of Chablis. Yeah, I am. And what's your name? Oh, God, sorry, I'm Anna. I'm Anna Rose. And as the barman poured 2 glasses of wine, Anna had never been so thirsty, and she felt immediate relief as she took several sips. I was planning to go straight home, he said. I only popped in for a quick drink. So why are you still here? Said Anna. Well, that's easy. Gazing at her, just as Coldplay sang from the sound system. How about a dance? Oh, I'd love to, said Anna, wondering if she could bring her glass of wine with her, but decided she'd better leave it at the bar. Taking her hand, George sidestepped a smooching couple by the terrace door, led Anna into the dining room where large candles flickered on the sideboard. Weaving their way across the floor, With each song that played, Anna felt that she and George were moving increasingly in sync. George had transported them all to a make-believe Tropicana. Sophia had created an atmosphere that made Anna feel hazy, like anything was possible. "Oh, there you are," said Tilly, leaping in front of Anna. "Would you mind if I steal Anna for a sec?" said Tilly, looking at George. Not at all," said George, and turning to Anna. "You will come back, though. I'll wait for you over there, okay?" He pointed at the fireplace that was in a small alcove next to the dining room. Not wanting to go anywhere, Anna reluctantly followed Tilly off the dance floor. "Oh my God," said Tilly. "I have just had the most incredible time with Jamie, Anna. I've got to tell you about it." "Oh, where is he?" said Anna. "Well, he had to go, but he did ask for my number before he left." "Okay, that's cool," said Anna, loving Tilly's enthusiasm, though Anna was longing to get back to George. "You know that he and George were even at school together. They're seriously good friends. And now you were dancing with George. This is serendipity, I'm telling you." Half of Anna wanted to go to the bathroom to check her face, and the other half wanted to get back on the dance floor. "Tilly, look, I've literally only just met George, and if I'm to know him any longer, I better get back in there." "Oh, lovebirds already, Anna," said Tilly. "I have such a good feeling about this. Come on, let's have a drink. You don't want to seem too keen." Walking into the dining room, Sophia watched her guests, so elite, so expensive. They were dancing. They were drinking. They looked divine. The sideboard next to her was bedecked of photographs. There was Sophia posing with Hollywood stars. Life on camera looked amazing. The truth was that her career was going nowhere. By now, she should have had a hat trick of movies under her belt, but the combination of her father's generous allowance even, and her love of partying had taken over. Across the room, her eyes lit upon George Wyndham, London's most sought-after bachelor, standing by the fireplace in the alcove of the dining room. Ripe for the picking at the age of 38, ambitious mothers, swooning daughters, they all wanted him. Walking up behind George, she reached up and slid her hands over his eyes. "Guess who?" she said loudly above the music. "Hello, Sophia," said George, slipping his hands over her wrists and gently pulling them down. "Isn't it fun to meet at a party for a change, George, rather than those dreary art exhibitions or charity things or whatever?" George picked up a tightly rolled piece of sushi from a banana leaf tray and wolfed it down. "How on earth did you get the palm trees in here?" he said. "Oh, you know me," said Sophia. "I figured if I wasn't going to have time to relax in the spring, I'd better bring a little island paradise to London." Pushing her hips towards George, she molded her hand into his lower back. "You know, George, I was thinking, maybe we could hang out a little more, now that you know where I live." Sorry, Sophia," said George, taking his phone out of his pocket. "I'm waiting for a shipment of paintings to come through customs." "Oh, Christ, George, what is it with you? On the rare occasions that I see you, there you are still banging on about your work. Really," she said, fiddling with her tasseled earrings. Just look at that old tat over there." George followed her eyes to 3 Dutch masters hung far too close together and much too low. Excuse me. "Daddy loves traditional art, of course," said Sophia. "Your sort of art, why he has to inflict those sour-faced trolls on my place is beyond me. Give me a Hearst or a Jeff Koons, contemporary. I just don't get this whole passion for the old stuff. I'm more of a modern girl, Following a cocktail, Anna returned to the dining room to find bodies swooning and sashaying around each other on the dance floor. There was no doubt that Sophia's party was a success. The DJ, with one leg propped up on a chair, grooved his entire body as he lined up the next track. Anna's heart sank as she spotted Sophia leading George by the hand onto the dance floor. As Sophia stepped into his arms, they began to dance to Rihanna singing about diamonds. Then Anna felt a sharp breeze come across the room. The music stopped abruptly. Double doors leading from the garden had opened, and a very tall policeman began walking across the floor towards Sofia. It looked like George didn't know what was going on. He squinted his eyes and looked like he realised he needed to step back. The policeman stood in front of Sofia. He put one hand on his hat and reached for the mobile phone from his shirt pocket. Holding the device in front of Sofia, a flash of light came from the camera as All the Single Ladies by Beyonce started up on the sound system, and the officer began to sway his hips. Pulling a truncheon out of his belt, he expertly twirled it through his fingers. A crowd gathered around Sofia and her admiring officer until he had stripped right down to his leopard print Y-fronts. Instinctively knowing how to make the most of the situation, Sofia playfully danced around her enthusiastic stripogram before breaking back in George's direction. Guests clapped as she and George began to dance again. Anna saw George turn his head to the doorway, maybe looking for her. But taking the lead, he twirled Sofia and pulled her towards him before resting her body on his arm and lowering her backwards as the music slowed. Hope faded for Anna as she watched Sofia nestling into George, and turning away, she felt utterly deflated, catching sight of crystal photograph frames documenting Sofia's life, sun-kissed on a super yacht, looking divine in a silky dress. Anna had a reality check. Sofia was famous for being an it girl who partied around the world. Anna couldn't even begin to compete. Sloping off to the bathroom, she felt she needed sunglasses as she walked into the unbelievably bright room, which was so white it was like an igloo. Standing in front of the full-length mirror, deciding she looked like some kind of art house character in her mother's caftan, Anna's only saving grace was that her face hadn't turned red. Making her way to the hallway in search of Tilly, Anna wasn't quite sure. But then there was George. He was sitting on the edge of a chair, holding his coat. "Anna," he said, standing up and sweeping back his hair. "I was looking for you. I was hoping you hadn't left." "Really?" she said. She tried to rein back her enthusiasm. I'm actually leaving as soon as I can find Tilly." "Look, Anna, I'm sorry I had to abandon you," he said. "No option when the hostess wants a dance." Anna couldn't help but smile at him as he pulled a face. "One more dance," he said. "One more dance." And leaving her bag beneath George's coat on the chair, she walked with him to the dining room. And with almost a hush from the speakers and a slow dance of whispering beats, George and Anna slipped into each other's arms. Thank you very much for listening, and I wish you all the very best of everything. Bye-bye.